See you there. This is Zach from NASCAR Plus Music Equals Life. Today, I'm reliving all the old classics of NASCAR video games. It's sad but true to see the state that we're in, so that's why I'm going to talk about it in today's video. It's just hard to watch what really got me into the sport go down in flames. In the early 1990s, kids all around the world were always playing video games, and it was the easiest way to market to kids. So NASCAR decided to get a piece of that market. And they dabbled in the 80s with a game called Richard Petty's Talladega. Take a look. Days of Thunder would also make a game that was better than Richard Petty's Talladega, but still not that great. Then NASCAR would finally fully license a game, Bill Elliott's NASCAR Challenge. I never got to play this game, but I do wish that I was able to.
I'm Ned Jerry. From Papyrus, this is NASCAR Racing.
In 1994, NASCAR would start the golden age, with Papyrus making NASCAR Racing. This game is automatically one of the greatest of all time, paving the way for some of the greats. Like its predecessor, NASCAR Racing 2 was also really good, but this time they had all of the drivers and they made sure to put all of these drivers on the cover, especially Dale Earnhardt. Then EA Sports would buy licensing rights and would release NASCAR 98. The game had good graphics for a console game, but it just was not that great. I mean, it's still good for a first-gen console, but I wanted better. Then NASCAR 99 would come out. The cars were a lot bulkier than 98, which I do not like, and I felt like the game was just a little bit more of a cut-down NASCAR 98. This game's okay, and it had more tracks than drivers, so I'll give it that. But if you get some improved graphics, this game series will definitely become a best-selling game. NASCAR 2000 was a really good game. It was the first NASCAR game with the PC and Game Boy port. Its 64-bit graphics made it look even better than the other games, which I don't agree that it looks any different, but it's still a good game. Then, NASCAR Racing 3. It was probably the worst in the Papyrus series, mostly because the game is a little bit janky in some ways. The game is still fun, but it's just kind of boring after a while, and just the physics are kind of crappy. Well, here's the first terrible game on this list. NASCAR 2001 was just a crap. It's had some terrible features. The graphics looked good, but the steering was awful. And the boring, unrealistic pack racing made this game awful. The only fun part was wrecking and driving backwards. NASCAR Thunder 2002 is definitely the worst of the Thunder series. It's a boring game. I used to love it, but now that I go back to it after playing the other two in the series, this game is just not good. The physics are okay. I definitely think that they upped the career mode, but again, it's just not as fun compared to the rest. Alright, I know y'all are going to bug me for not saying NASCAR Heat is a good game yet, but I do not think any of the original Heat games were that good. At least from the Xbox and PlayStation version. The game just is not that good. The racing is too tight. And also they don't really have they don't have a full field. The game's just boring after a while. I played it on and off for about a week and then I just quit playing it. NASCAR Racing 2002 is the first amazing NASCAR game. Perfect pack racing, amazing graphics, and some mods, not as many as the next in the series, but this game was about perfect. I love everything about it. I mean, I'm really the only person I feel like that remembers this game because the next game in the series really just showed off what Papyrus could actually do. Yet I thought this also showed what Papyrus could do. Love this game, 10 out of 10, S-tier NASCAR game, and definitely in my top 5 favorites. Now, my favorite NASCAR console game, NASCAR Dirt to Daytona. Having the Winston Cup, the Truck Series, and the Weekly Series in this game brings it up. Amazing racing and a truly in-depth career mode makes this game one of the greatest racing, maybe even sports video games of all time. I will never stop obsessing over this game, and no one can make me. It just slaps way too hard. And heck, I'm playing it on the Wii because I'm using my GameCube disc to put it in the Wii, and it still looks good. This is just proof that this game can run good on anything. Heck, I bet I could run it on a potato and it run well. NASCAR Thunder 2003 was a really good game, but it was nothing compared to the next game in the series. It was just a fun game. I would say that the steering probably needs a little bit of help, and definitely the pack racing at Daytona, but everything else is really good about this game, and I just love this game. I know that this video is going to get a little bit repetitive, but sorry about that. But I'm just speaking my true feelings on these games. This game's a 9.5 out of 10, but the next game would do it better. NASCAR Thunder 2004 is just perfect. It's perfect, down to the last minute details. A perfect career mode, perfect physics. It's just beautiful, man. It's just a great game. And if I'm hanging out with the boys, I make them play the 4 widescreen. And man, it's one of the best games. But then, Papyrus would strike again. NASCAR Racing 2003 is the best motorsports game of all time. I know I said that about Dirt to Daytona, but this is just the greatest, I would say, video game for me of all time. I have more hours on this than I probably have touching grass. It's like its 2002 predecessor, but with better lighting, better graphics, and the game still lives on today with the community that makes mods. And people are making amazing mods every day to keep this game as popular as it is. And it probably has more people online than most NASCAR games that are still on right now on the new next-gen consoles. NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 would probably be in my top 5 favorite NASCAR games if it wasn't overshadowed by EA causing the downfall of NASCAR games. They bought exclusive rights to NASCAR games, making sure Monster and Papyrus could not have any more pie. Other than that, the game's great, having all 4 series, the Featherlight Modifieds, the Busch Series, or as they call it, the National Series, the Truck Series, and the Cup Series. And I said that in the wrong order. I think this game is great. I love the career mode. Ace Moneymaker comes in for the first time, and he will be a staple of the series for the next few games. This game is just fun, and it's definitely more of an arcade game, and it has that rival feature that Thunder 4 has. Now, the driver swap game. NASCAR 06 Total Team Control is a good game, mostly because of the driver swap feature, where you can swap to become your teammate if you're having a bad race. But, NASCAR 07 on the consoles, as you can see, is almost the same game, just with a little bit better graphics. But, I will say this, I have more hours on this game than ever. But no, not on the console version. On the PSP version. NASCAR for the PSP is one of the greatest games ever made. I have more hours on that game than any other video game ever. And that's surprising for me, saying that I have NASCAR 2003 played longer than me touching grass. But no, this game, it's longer than I've been in the light. The game is perfect. You could play it anywhere. You can play it on vacation. Heck, you can play it in school. It's just the perfect way to have a NASCAR game on a little tiny console. And no NASCAR Rivals and NASCAR Heat 5 Complete Edition are not allowed. They are not that good after comparing it to NASCAR on the PSP. To be honest, I never played on the original console. I only played it on an emulator. Also, let's see how the next game is. It is dog shit. NASCAR '08 is the worst video game ever made. Well, at least for now. This game has nothing to go for it other than funny crash physics. Kind of like NASCAR 2001, but this game's somehow worse than NASCAR 2001. NASCAR '09 is playable, but it's almost the same game because it doesn't have manufacturers either.
It's a scary place to race, and they don't call it the Monster Mile for nothing.
It's definitely not a joyride. 400 miles here at this concrete monster.
That is, hold your line here. Hold your line. Middle is good. Shoot the middle. Clear to the bottom. Got it, got it. Oh, no. Okay, buddy, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Hope was on the horizon, but the hope gave out right at release. NASCAR 2011 by Technics is an okay game. It's not great. It's nothing special. The tandem drafting is really the only thing I come back for, so I just run single races. We had so many good games in the 2000s, and now we expected amazing games, and we weren't getting them. NASCAR the Game Inside Line is truly the last great NASCAR game. Amazing race physics and modes, but they basically just
somehow. Next up, I think
decided to copy and paste the next 3 games, just adding in roster updates.
Kyle, is that NASCAR Heat Evolution? Wait, who's playing the game then?
Back to the main stuff. NASCAR Heat Evolution. This game is not terrible, in my opinion. It's not terrible compared to what I had played before, but then now comparing it to all the rest, it is pretty bad. I don't like how you can't use the other Joy-Con to look back and see if you're not clear. Also, if you pause the game on and over, you can just get a speed boost for some reason. The game is unrealistic, and the crash physics are some of the worst. Heck, if you clip the wall, you bounce and do 15 barrel rolls. NASCAR Heat 2 was good, adding better graphics, making the game not impossible to pass in, making the racing physics good. The game was just pretty solid. Then NASCAR Heat 3 rolled around, and it added the Dirt series, making this game one of the better ones in the Heat series. The game does look like a BeamNG mod, though. Then NASCAR Heat 4 and 5 are practically the same game. I mean, they're good no matter what, but they're literally just copy and pasted games. Just with, again, only roster changes, kind of like Technics. But, the games aren't bad. Heck, they're pretty good. Now, NASCAR given exclusive rights to motorsport games. Maybe we had hope. Maybe the game will be great. The trailer looks good, so just maybe it was dog shit. This game is the worst game ever made. I pre-ordered the game, and whenever I tried to launch the game on the day the pre-orders were allowed, I couldn't load it. Then it took me 2 months of me trying to load it every day to get it to load one time. And then guess what? The AI didn't even spawn when I tried to play it. I thought this is the end of NASCAR games, so I thought. NASCAR had been running an iRacing series during the 2020 COVID pandemic. The certain virus. And NASCAR finally sold their rights to iRacing. And motorsport games went under because they scammed a bunch of people. Now, I think it's time that racing shines. I cannot wait. I hope this ages well, but I think this could become one of the best NASCAR games ever. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time. Peace out.
In the middle of Tobacco Road.